We have 12 participants. I love it. Okay, this meeting is being recorded. Welcome to the IIBA Tampa Bay, Florida chapter. This is our study group for January 2024. This is our 102nd study group. Today we're going to interview Rohit, and Rohit's going to talk about data, which is very exciting because he's an experienced business analyst, and we're going to find out how he uses it and maybe some tips and tricks you can use in your own business. Our chapter is an international chapter. We have people from all around the world that are members of our chapter because we are so active. Our mission here is to bridge the gap between industry leaders and business analysts by building partnerships with professionals, educators, and employers so that we may empower, instruct, and engage our BA community. As I said, we have worldwide members. If you're interested in becoming a member of our chapter, just sign up with the IIBA and let them know that you want to be a member of the Tampa Bay chapter. We do not charge fees for our study groups, our events. We're here to help you. And so we don't charge fees like some of the other chapters do. We would welcome you. It's our job to help you. You have a lot of different ways you can reach out to us. We've got LinkedIn groups. We've got our meetup that you probably found. Our Zoom online does not change. It's the same link every single week. So if you can't find us for some reason, go back to your history. You can hit the same Zoom. Study group materials are on our Google Drive, and we have meeting recordings on YouTube. We have almost 100 meeting recordings, and I'll tell you about those real quick. We have gone through the BABOK twice. In going through it twice, we spend at least 2 weeks each time on each chapter. And what we do is we go through practice study questions, test questions, and talk about this is the question. Yeah, that's the BABOK. This is the question, and these are the 4 possible answers. Which one of these is not even a reasonable answer, and we can eliminate it? And then of the other 3, which one is the best answer? The conversations that we have make the listening to those worthwhile, because people are able to point out that one looks like it's the best answer, but that word is the wrong word. It's not an input. It's something else. We help each other pay attention to what's important. And I don't see things the way everyone else sees it, but somebody else can draw it to my attention and I'll learn. So I appreciate that. We also have our IIBA website. Watermark Learning is the practice test question provider that we've been using all this time. They've given us a discount code of 20% off of all their products. They have products for not only business analysis, but a couple of other topics. They have the practice test questions that you can specify to which chapter in the book you want to take the questions out of. And they also have flashcards and some other things. We are a volunteer-led organization. Cliff, I don't see him on screen right now. He's usually in the Millennium Falcon. He is our president. Yulia is our vice president of finance. And Bob Churchill is our CBAP in residence. You get an hour credit of education credit because you attended this class because Bob is here. We have to have a CBAP on the call for the live training so that you can get the credit. That credit is used whenever you sign up to take one of the certification courses or tests. You have to have a certain amount of education credit that you can claim and document. If you are attending this class on live or even virtually, reach out to us and let us know which classes you attended, what the topics were, and we will give you a letter that says that you attended those. My name is Thea Soren. I'm the Vice President of Career and Professional Development for the chapter. It is my job to help you learn what you need to learn. If you need to be mentored, if you need a resume review, if you want me to look at your study questions or your user stories, I'll be glad to do that with you. I'll jump on a call. We can review them. I'll tell you what I see that maybe could be better. And I'm not always right, but I'll give you my opinion. I've been doing this for 20-something years, maybe more. We have a couple of new board members that are going to be coming on board. If you are interested in also coming on board as a new board member, reach out to me through LinkedIn and we'll talk about what exactly it is that it calls for. It's not a hard sell. You don't have to do a whole lot for us. But being a board member not only sets you apart from other people, you are a board member for a chapter of the IIBA, but it also allows us to let you learn some things about being a board member, maybe use some skills that you already have, and you would be welcome. Our study group advisors, I told you Bob is one of our study group advisors. You can see him right here. Yulia is another study group advisor. If you're a board member and you're committed to attending every class, you're suddenly a study group advisor, because that means that you attending gives us the credit. We like to celebrate our wins. We have a lot of people that have said, if it weren't for your study group, if it weren't for what we learned at your study group, I could not have passed my certification. And so we were putting them on our brag board. As I said, we don't charge money for this. We're here to help you, but this is our encouragement. So reach out to us if we can include you. IIBA has 7 certifications. The top 3 are for the BABOK. The bottom 3 are advanced certifications that once you earn your CBAP, you can go on and earn those. You can actually earn those without the CBAP, but they're kind of designed to build on top of the CBAP. Last week, we had Cliff talk about his experience moving data. He moves huge amounts of data. This week, we have Rohit. He's going to talk about his experience with data as a business analyst and cleaning it and creating quick dashboards using Microsoft. Next week, we're going to have Kathy Gaston. She's going to talk about how simplifying business analysis can help enable better project investment planning and execution. Kathy is a business architect, and when she talks about value streams and how value streams lead down into processes, it is amazing and informative and enlightening. And I really appreciate what she's going to be bringing to us. So I encourage you to join us next week. The week after that, we have either Bob is going to talk about his, what is it you call it, Bob? I'm sorry.
BA framework.
The framework, that framework. He's explained it to us in the past, but he has some interesting changes to it, that it's matured, and he wants to help us understand it. Following that, we have possibly a UI UX person coming to talk about what they do and what we need to know to work with them best. If you have someone that you're interested in us learning from, have them contact me, or you contact me and I'll contact them, introduce me through LinkedIn, and we will get that scheduled. We would like to go through some professional series and some things that are interesting for business analysts to learn before we start going through the BABOK again. As I said, we have almost 100 videos on YouTube of going through the BABOK test questions before. It's not that it's not useful to watch the videos, but doing it for a third time might not be as beneficial as learning the current things that are happening in the industry, AI, things like that. Okay, so I'm going to turn the meeting now over to Rohit. And, oh yes, Bob, go ahead.
So what we've done is, the reason it's good to go through the chapters is for all the current participants to have the experience of going through it live and being able to participate in the conversations as we hash out the answers. So, so far we've done this in 2 complete cycles. We do the chapters of the BABOK. That's the first part. And then we do the techniques. That's the second part. Then we do the guest speaker series, and they talk about other different aspects of business analysis from their own perspective and expertise, or adjacent rules that you should know about, because you'll be interacting with them. So we have done 2 complete series with the chapters and 2 complete series with the techniques. Now we're doing the second guest speaker series, then we'll start all over. And also, she gave you the link, but she didn't explicitly call it out on my website, there's a link to all the previous recordings that show them all the subjects and subsubjects by week, and also cross references of all the chapter discussions, techniques, discussions, and guest speakers. And I'm about a week behind. I'll be updating that soon.
So that's rpchurchill.com. I'll drop that in the chat so everyone will have it. Okay, Rohit, it's your turn.
So thank you for giving me this opportunity. Hi everyone. My name is Rohit Thakur. I'm a senior business analyst working in Pune for Cinecron. It's a financial service company, and I have been having more than 8.5 years of experience. I am also a MBA graduate. I have done my MBA in business analytics, and finance being my minor specialization. So I'm a BA who has a lineage towards the data side, means whether to prepare a dashboard or to analyze or to give any of the stuff which is related to the data. I provide those to my top management and also to my managers or the stakeholders, you can say. So without wasting time, I'll share my screen. So this is about me, senior business analyst, and also apart from that, I'm also a PSM 1 certified. Last year I have done this certification. Then recently I have been awarded with the or recognized by LinkedIn as a top voice for a different skills. And my motto in a two line is to love to connect people and helping the aspiring BAs who are into just started their career as a BA. And I'm a breaker of my comfort zone, means I believe that if we break our comfort zone, then the learning will grow and one personality will also grow. So if you be in your comfort zone, then the learning will stop. But if you break your comfort zone, then the learning will continue to grow. So that's the quick introduction about myself. Now, today I'm going to speak about a business analyst, how he works on a data side. So a lot of us have seen many of the LinkedIn collaborative articles. Those articles are heavily relied on the data. So there are certain set of questions. So one certain set of question was asked to me that what new business analyst trends can you learn? And I replied to that. I put forward my perspective and I got a huge response. Almost I got 71 responses. That is the likes. And for that, being the liked most post, I got the recognition as a LinkedIn top voice in business analyst. So in such a way, there are business analysts, there are new trends which is taking a shape in a business analyst career. One is of the data side, second is of the Salesforce, third is the one who knows the automation, that is the RPA, and fourth is just a functional one, that is know how to collaborate with each other or how to collaborate with stakeholders, doing the conflict resolutions and all. So my role or a recent trend which fits in is the data side. So what is data? Anybody can tell me what is data? What you understand by data?
Things
A
that are
quick question.
measured.
Things that is measure. Okay. If we measure the thing, then what we get? If we measure the thing, what we get?
Numbers, measurements.
Numbers,
More
measurements.
data.
Yeah, more data. Rather than saying rather than saying more data, we can say a more information we get. And the more information we get, the more knowledge we get. So this is there are four things which we have to keep in mind, that data skills are growing and it's in high in demand. Because there are four reasons why a business analyst should learn a data skill. The first reason is that data skills are high and growing in demand. The second is that business analysts with data skills can make a better decision and provide more value. Because being assumptions in our decision making is harmful for a business analyst. So a business analyst with a proper decision or a better decision provides more value to the organization. The third is that data skills can help business analysts to improve stakeholder management. Suppose if any of the stakeholder ask me for a report or ask me for the progress, I will not say that it's 70% done, it's 30% done, or it's in progress. I would say it by the count. Or suppose if I want to convince him, then I would convince him with the numbers, that this is the numbers, these numbers are saying this, so we have to go by this decision. The fourth is that learning data skills can give business analysts a competitive edge when it comes to salary potential. So every one of us sitting over here or gaining knowledge, at the end, we are here to earn. So a business analyst with a data skills has a great potential to earn in terms of salary. So these are just the four things which one should keep in mind if you want to be a business analyst who works on data. So moving forward, I have 5 points why data is important. The first point is that data helps you to understand who your consumer is or who your customer is. Suppose in a field of retail marketing or retail market, data helps you to understand your customer. Maybe in the FMCC, maybe in the BFSI domain, they helps you to understand their potential customer. Second is it helps us to stop the guessing game. So the guessing game is stopped. Third is to keep a track of what is measure, keeping a track of what you are doing it. Fourth is helps you to make an informed decision. And fifth is get the results what you want. So I remember one quote which was said by Peter Drucker. He's a management guru, and he says that you cannot manage what you don't measure. So everybody agree on this, that
Yes.
you cannot manage what you don't measure. So for the third point, for the second point related to the data, I would say that data will help you to explain both good and bad decision to your stakeholders. Whether or not your strategies and decision have the outcome you anticipated, you can be confident that you develop your approach based not upon your guesses, but based on your solid data, based on your solid number crunching ability. And a good data allows organization to establish baseline, benchmarks, and goals to keep moving forward. Because data allows you to measure, you will be able to establish baseline, find benchmarks, and set performance goal. And this is all about the performance of the employee. And how the organization will measure? It will measure by the KCI and KPIs which are set upon them. The fourth is knowledge. Data is equal to knowledge. Good data provides indisputable evidence, while it avoids the assumptions or abstract observation might lead to wasted resources due to taking actions based on an incorrect conclusion. So this is all about the knowledge thing. And the fifth is data allows organization to measure the effectiveness of a given strategy. Means whether they have implemented the strategy which are so-called successful, these are measured only on the numbers which we are showing to them or which we are showing to them. When strategies are put into place to overcome a challenge, collecting data will allow you to determine how well your solution was implemented or whether or not your approach needs to be tweaked. So this is all about the data and its importance. So before we move forward, I would like to tell you that we know that why the data is important, but anybody has thought why data visualization is why data visualization is so important? Anybody from our team can tell why data visualization is so important? Anyone?
Because it makes it easy to understand.
Okay. So
I was going to be derogatory, but it's the way to get the C-suite to understand anything, because you give them pretty pictures and they start getting it.
Anyone,
would say-
anyone apart from Thea and Cliff?
It help us tell a story.
Yeah, tells a story. So 4 points we have to keep in mind is that data visualization is important. Reason being, it helps people to see. Second, it helps people to interact. Many of have seen the dashboards. It helps people to interact. In my previous stint in HSBC, it helped my lead architects and my solution architect, or you can say the chief architect, to interact with the dashboard of their own region. Suppose if a chief architect is from the wholesale region, then it has helped him or her to see the artifacts of his region. Then it's better to understand data. Suppose if a person just gives you the Excel file or just gives you the number, will that be understandable by you? There is simple answer, that is no. It is not understandable unless and until it is well presented. So it helps to better understand the data. Why we are taking so many measures. And fourth is the last point, but a crucial point is that it brings everyone on the same page, regardless of their level of their expertise. Everyone agree on this?
Yes.
So, okay, perfect. So I'm gonna show you one. I have taken some simple example of how a data visualization can be useful, and what all is the approach which a BA can have to develop his or her analytical mindset, and also to look into the data, because 70% of the time is been spent on data cleaning itself only. Rest of the 30% is just a drag and drop facility, which are provided by Tableau, ClickSense, Power BI, Looker, and there are many other. Agree?
Yes.
But before those tool, Excel is mother of all, because if you learn Excel, if you understand data in in Excel, then you are able to understand it in this SQL server. Then you are able to draw the dashboard in Power BI, because all are interlinked or advanced version of the Excel itself only. So without wasting time, I'll just show you. I have just downloaded some of my simple data set. Let me share it. See, this is the dashboard which I have created. This is the BIBA store annual report of 2023. On the left side, I have put the channels, that is Agio. See, this is the interactive dashboard. Then suppose if I want to check for Amazon. Okay. So by looking at this, what are your thoughts?
The idea that
Anyone?
it's interactive in Excel excites me.
Okay. Other one? Any other?
It's annual revenue split it by age, gender, by channels, by months. I mean, what I see by
Yeah.
statuses,
Mhm.
and yeah.
Okay. Suppose
Yeah, I like
if I
that you've also created just different views of the data as well.
yeah. Suppose if I give you this file, will you be able to understand it? Will you be able to ask the question and get the answer easily?
No.
It
Agree?
would take us doing the analysis.
Pardon?
It would take us doing the same analysis that you did with the
Yeah,
display.
I'm gonna take it. So 70% of the time has been spent on cleaning the data. It just the dashboard thing. So what I'll do, I'll just take the another file, raw file, and I'll tell you the approach of what needs to be done. So everybody on same page?
Yeah, I want to see it. How do you do it?
Yep. Just a second. The file is getting hanged. Okay. So this is the raw file which I have got. I have downloaded it from the other sources. Now, from here, we can see this is just a simple data. Okay. We are not able to figure out what is this all about and all. So the first approach of any business analyst or any data analyst or any person who is working on the data and needs to analyze the data is to check how many fields are there, how many columns are there, and how many records are there.
Why is that
So
important?
it is important so that suppose if you want to take any of the columns into consideration, there are some redundant columns also. In this case, in my case, B2B column is redundant. And suppose if I import those column into any other tool, then it takes more memory. Just to be or short of the memory, just to save the extra kilobytes, we need to take only those column which are applicable to our analysis, not the other analysis. See, this currency column is also redundant. Now, what I'll do, I'll go one by one. First, I have applied the filter. First and foremost, we have to check the formatting of it. If I check on the index, I have to check the formatting. Formatting is okay, it's pretty good. There are no blank cells. In order ID also, there are no blank cells. Everything is perfect. Now in customer ID, need to check any blank
If
cells
there
or
was
null
a
value.
blank cell, what would you do?
I will handle it with the NA, means I will just put it
Okay.
as a redundant one. There is no blank cells.
I see
If I
problems
check
with
on,
gender.
yeah, if I go to gender, there is something fishy about it. Can anyone tell?
Oh, you need to
Duplicate data.
standardize it.
Consistent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the same data points have different values.
yep. So man and M is one and the same. So what I'll do, I'll just replace this by proper
Is it
proper wording.
normalization? I don't know.
No,
Yes, that is
actually,
data
Standardization,
normalization.
yep,
standardization, normalizations.
or bucketing you can say.
My database skills still here. Still there.
Say that louder,
20
Leanne.
years ago. Huh?
Pardon?
Over 20 years ago. I've never touched database after I graduated.
Well, a lot of BAs are being pushed into doing data analysis, and not everyone is trained. So we're trying to expose some people to things that they might need.
Yeah, you're a
See, there are
genius.
74 replacement.
The ones you're talking about were a genius.
Okay, so we have done the bucketing, or you can say standardization. Now in age, we need to check it whether there are any some categorical value or any blank value. So in age also there is no blank value. Let me check it with the date itself. No blank value. In status itself also, spelling, there is no spelling mistake, and there is no any other garbage value you can say. in channel, it's one and the same. SQU, I don't know the field SQU, but must be some code related to the article.
It's an identification number that's
Yeah.
unique to each article.
Yeah. Category. There are category of blouse, bottoms, ethnic wears. No blank value.
Yeah, and the person that was just talking about SQL, this is kind of like doing a select distinct, where you could
Yeah.
look at a
But
particular field and get your distinct values. You can get away with Excel when you're doing small data sets.
yeah,
I think-
I've just taken the example of Excel so that once the base of Excel is clear, once it is clear that what needs to be done in Excel, then it become pretty easy to do it in a large scale, in a big data itself also, or on a server where there are millions of records. See, in select, in quantity, there are alphabetical value. So I'll just replace this. Basically, I'm trying to check that what is the approach should be. If we
Having
are
good data
doing,
is critical because if you don't clean your data and normalize your data before you start and validate that you have, 100% of each row has all the data it needs, you start doing your analysis and it bites you.
yeah, that's the reason at the start I said that 70% of our time is being utilized in cleaning the data itself only and understanding the data, that what is all about. Okay, currency, no matter.
If we don't need that column, would you just delete the column?
Yeah, we can delete it, but since this is the master file, I don't have to do any of the things in the master file. I'll
Okay.
make a copy of the master file and then I will delete it if I able to find
Gotcha.
it.
Yeah.
So this is
And
the
I
Yeah.
recommend that too, because when I've done stuff with the master file, if you delete it, you might go back and go, oh, I need that column or something. So it's nice to keep
Yeah.
that master to go
Right.
back to.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah, rightly pointed out.
Okay,
But
so
see, to
explain.
your point, you do want to remove those types of fields that you're not going to use in a report later on down the road. Because if you are dealing with a data set that has billions of rows, that makes a substantial difference in size, memory,
Yeah.
performance, those kinds of things.
Right.
But yeah, you want to keep your data, your that's why we usually have data flows. A tool called Synapses allows us to do that. You start with your data set, then you normalize it, modify it, and everything else, and then you dump it in a target. And that
Yeah.
target is what you use for your reports.
Right. So a master file is the raw data that you obtained out of whatever application or system, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
exactly. And also there is one feature in Tableau that we need to check, we need to filter out, means we don't have to work directly with the live data. There is a extract column, means there is a extract filter at the end. When we import a data to Tableau, if we click on extract, then it will just give me the image of those data. If I'm able to make any of the changes, so those changes are not directly made into the databases or the live data. It is made into the extract file and then it is made into the live data. So this is one of the, you can say, wall to protect the live data from being tangled. Because there many of time it happens that if we make any other changes and those files are required or those column are required, then we are baffled what to do. There is
Right.
everywhere, yeah. So it's always a best practice to keep the master file intact and get the extract out of it. So there is a feature in Tableau itself.
What do you
So,
think about saving the file with the date and time of the extract in the file title?
yeah, we can save it. There's no harm in saving it.
Well, I found that it's important to do the date and time of the extract. in the title, just because whenever you're trying to find things, you don't want to have to look and see when that file was created and stuff. It's easier if it's just in the title.
Okay. So can you, by seeing at the data, what is the first question you need to ask? Can anybody ask one question to me or to the data?
What are we trying to measure? We
Okay.
want to know.
So this is from looking at the data, we are easily understandable that it is the BABA store data. We are going to measure that how many women's or how many men have done the shopping in terms of quantity, in terms of order quantity, in terms of amount, what is their lineage, and what is the trend. Is men is more into the shopping or women's into the more into the shopping, and through what channels they have done it, through Amazon, through
Right.
Ajio, or through Myntra. So these are the basic set of questions which we need to ask. So suppose and one other thing, one most important thing is age, and in what age group they have done it. Because suppose if a person is below or below 20 years of age and he or she is not earning, then there is no point of taking him into consideration. It's an outlier. But if a person is more than 20 years of age and he or she is well earning, then it tends to spend more on the websites or on the shopping site. So we need to find out the patterns, that which age group is spending more or which age group is spending less.
Rohit, Bob has his hand up.
Pardon?
We have a question.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you if you can describe some of the things you might do if different fields are blank, missing, or wrong. There are
Okay.
many approaches you can take.
Okay. For missing value, it is considered as a clutter only, because earlier in my role, there was a metadata missing in the artifacts. So we just worked upon the metadata which was having the missing values. So our aim is to be the missing value, or consider the missing value, or minimize the missing value as early as possible and as low as possible. Because suppose those missing value or null value is considered or targeted with the amount or any of the sales, then it will have the impact on the profit or loss also. So suppose, for example, this is the customer ID. I don't know the customer ID. I don't know which channel is it, but he or she has bought kurta, and that too with the amount of 376. Then the 376 amount is considered as vague, because we don't know anything about it. So our main motto is to handle the missing value softly. What in this case I will do is that I will identify what all is missing. I will just I will just replace blank as NA, not applicable, or we can say any other term, that is to be discussed. So I can know that in to be discussed category, we have this much of amount which are not assigned to any other of the channels. Those values considered as clutter only. There may be the other approach which you guys may think. Can anyone tell me what are the other approach which one can have to handle the missing values?
Well,
You could
there
delete the
are
record. Oh, sorry.
well, I was going to say there are a few approaches depending on the kind of data. One approach is what you've described. Another is to infer the data from other surrounding data if you can recreate it. For example, if you don't have the customer number, but you have somebody's name and address For 4 other orders, you might be able to assume the customer number. In other cases, if it's a quantitative number, you may be able to take a mean value, and sometimes you will do the N8 kind of thing to see if there are any patterns detectable in things that are missing data. It may show you something about the process and something that comes up in your analysis. There are many approaches depending on the situation.
But if we use the statistical approaches, that is finding the mean value, then the mean value sometimes becomes an outlier in a data. So it's always a best practice. Sorry. So it's always a best practice to use a median as possible as it is. And the second is that to measure the outliers or remove the outliers completely from the data, because those outliers will have the major impact in our analysis.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just bifurcate this age into some age group. So anyone from our team can tell me that what age group needs to be done. Means anybody?
We need to group them.
It
Yeah.
depends on your purpose. Why would you want them grouped? But
Okay.
how do you use the age to do analysis?
Yeah. I need to check that how many teenagers have spent the shopping, means has spent the amount on shopping some stuff on Myntra, Ajio or Amazon. How many senior citizens are there and how many adults are there?
Okay. So you need
Fair enough.
teenagers, so it's less than 20?
Mhm. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just over here, I'll add the column age group. I'll put some formula. Okay, age is over here in E2. If E2 is more than 30, I would say 30 or any other 20. What you guys want? Tell me.
I think 18 because there's an age for 18 there.
Okay, suppose if age is less than 30, or you can say if more than.
Yeah, you catch your millennials or whatever you want to do.
Okay,
in
okay.
each range. Yeah, good. 30 is good.
More
You
than
do 30
50.
and then 40 to 50, 50 to 60,
Yeah.
etc.
So I will
Careful with
classify
that
those as
senior
a.
there.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the
When
reason.
half of us identify as senior, you're in trouble. Go ahead.
Bear with me. If then again E2 is less than is more than 30, I would say I will classify those as adult, and apart from this, I will classify them as teen.
So anybody 30 or below, you're gonna call a teen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it make
It's
is
okay.
it good?
If that's what that's works for you, that works.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay.
Seniors over
Okay.
50. So you know what?
So you're not senior.
Anybody under 30 can be a teen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have applied a formula over here. Okay. But applying formula and keeping it as it is, it will say it will cost me a memory, or it will cost me a lagging of the data. So what I'll do, I will copy this and I will paste it as it is, means paste as value. I will
Right.
remove the formula so that my file becomes light and it doesn't give me a lag. Now, I also wanted to understand that from date, from which month or in which month the shopping goes high. Usually in a western part of country, or you can say a western part of our world, shopping time is into Christmas in December, you can say last quarter of year.
Okay.
Whereas in the Middle East, it is in a quarter 3 or quarter 2. Whereas in the eastern part, like a country in India, the majority of the shopping or a peak time in shopping is into November and October, right? So that's the reason a month is necessary to identify. In a date over here, it's not, it's ambiguous. I'm not able to figure it out, the date. So what I'll do, I'll extract the month from it. I'll extract the month from the date. So there are two approaches to do this. One is, there is one formula, month. If I click on this, it will give me a month number. Just a second. Yeah.
Then you want to format it only show month.
Yeah. It will give me a month of number of that month. Okay. Now the second thing is, what I'll do, I'll simply apply a VLOOKUP. I'll create a one random table over here of 12 month.
So let me clarify, on your other screen, you had it as it was day, month, year order. Is that what we were seeing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'll do now, I don't know what the 12 is. I don't know what the 1 is. So I'll just apply a VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP is very much powerful. Suppose you want to look a value, I want to look a 12 value in a table, in this table, and I want to lock it. I'll just lock it. This also I'll lock it so that it doesn't move up and down.
Is that F4 that you click whenever
Yeah,
you click on
F4.
that?
Yeah, F4.
To
Then
fix the
I'll
cells.
fix the
I thought
cells.
you'd be using XLOOKUP, Rohit.
No, I usually prefer to using VLOOKUP. I haven't used any XLOOKUP.
Mhm.
So this is one of the way I'm telling. See,
The only problem
now
is your month didn't work right. The column in H didn't work right.
It does, because he has the date in day, month,
day,
year
month,
order.
and year format.
Yeah,
Oh,
put that in
In-
long format
In
because
India,
yeah,
they
I
do it
noticed
differently
that.
than we do it.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's a day for
I thought it was
day format.
April 12th,
No.
Yeah,
but it's December
So-
4th.
So
right. You have to look at all the dates to figure out what order that they have it in.
see,
I haven't
is
seen
the-
that since the mainframe days. Oh,
It's
okay.
normal.
Yeah.
normal. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll just replace this with this newly column, and here we go. We have a date.
Right.
There is one another approach, which is very much easy. First approach that I apply VLOOKUP. The second approach is that I'll just put a text over here. This is the date. Maybe I'll select MMM. It will give me the date.
Oh,
Sorry,
that's
month.
cool.
So means in data analysis or in any other type of analysis, one problem has a different solution for it, but one solution cannot be a same for multiple problems. So this is the thing which I wanted to tell. So again, to save the bandwidth, or you can say to avoid lagging, I will just paste it as a value. So for my own preferences, I will highlight this. Reason being that I will easily come to know that these are the calculated fields. So everyone with me?
Yes.
So any doubt, means any questions you do you have so far?
Very
Okay.
good.
So no question means no doubt, right? Or no question means everybody is able to understand it. So what I'll take? Second one?
Think you're good.
So the first chart which I'm thinking of preparing is that I need to understand that how many orders are there and how many amount is there associated with it. So the most powerful tool in Excel is the pivot. I'll select the data set. I will insert, go to the insert. I will apply pivot table and I will go to the new. It's always a best practice to have it into the next existing sheet, next new sheet, not the existing sheet. So over here, if I take the amount is here, value. Okay. Now the order ID is here. And suppose if I want to take it as a gender wise, I will be able to know the amount which has been spent by men and women. Or I can check it as a age group also. These are just a number. Do you think that this number will give you the exact count or exact interpretation? Do you think like that?
Well, it's exact, but it's hard to
Interpret, right?
Yes.
It is hard to interpret. Exactly my point. Now, the first graph which we are going to make is that we are going to make it by the month wise. In which month, what was the sale? So the first thing which I need to do is I need to remove all the subtotals over here. So I'll go to the design. I will select this pivot. I'll go to the design and I will go to the grand totals and I will off the row and column, because I don't want it to I don't want that total row or total group into my chart. So I'll again go to this design. I'll go to insert, go to the recommended chart. So the chart which has been recommended is the bar chart. But since I am using two numerical values, do you think what bar chart would justify it? I want to understand the count order also. Means I need to understand the order which are there in the month, and I need to understand the amount also. Do you think only a one graph would be suffice for it?
How about a bar chart with a line?
Yeah. That's the combo chart. Trend chart. I'll just put it on this. Now, perfect. Still, the graph is not so much understandable. Reason being, it just a simple structure. We need to decorate it. If I say we need to decorate it, it means that we need to remove the unnecessary part in the graph. See, I'll just hide this button. I'll go to the access bar. I'll put a chart title. Chart title may be order versus sales. See, these numbers, are you able to interpret those numbers? If anyone from our non-mathematical background wants to interpret the number, he will start it from a 0. So I need to change it to the ones which are there or which are easily interpreted. So I'll just double click on this. I'll go downstairs over here. I'll go to the number format. I will since it's in lakhs, so I will change the format into million. So 0 // double comma M. Add. Now it is good. Anyone?
That's a little too high. I think we need a little more refinement.
Yeah. Yeah. So it has just rounded off. So what I'll do, I'll just put it 0.0. Now it is giving me the more accurate one. 1.90 million, 1.85 million. Are you getting it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the third thing is that I don't like grid lines. These lines are very much disturbing. So I'll just simply delete it. I'll make this heading upstairs so that I have a huge space for my graph. See? Now, are you able to interpret the graph?
How about if you add labels to the vertical axis so you know which one is which?
Yeah. Suppose if I add the data labels, it will show me this one.
Well, I was thinking, where you have the numbers in the left and right columns, which show the height, if you labeled those with
those
text.
speak. Okay, just a second. I'll do it. 0. Like this?
No,
No?
click on the left column there. No, the numbers on the left.
Left, this one, this number. Am I able
Yes.
to interpret you? Okay, so what you want from it?
Click on that.
Right click.
Okay.
Well, you want to add a text label to that. So it's
Text
probably
label.
in format access.
Okay.
There are two things you could do. You could either color it or add a text label to say that is the sum of amount column.
Yeah, okay, got your point. See, on the left axis means whenever we have selected the graph, on the primary axis we have done it, means on the left axis we have selected the sum of amount, whereas on the right side, the right side, the secondary axis is shows the count of the order ID. If we select the graph, suppose once again if we do it, okay, once again I'll show it. Suppose if we go to the combo, here is the chart type and here is the secondary axis. So what I have done while selecting those graph, I have selected secondary axis as my count of order ID. So my count of order ID is in the red color and it's in the secondary axis rather than the primary axis. Suppose if I have selected the sum of amount on the secondary axis, then it would have been like this, the right side one. Are you guys getting it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
you can spend days, months, years doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
You play with the tool Power BI and you can even spend more time doing it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I agree upon you. So I have created one first graph. Now what I'll do, I'll just copy this graph into a new sheet. I will name the sheet as a dashboard, but I will just copy it over here. Okay. I'm just copying this graph. I'm naming this sheet as a, you can say, a summary report. Maybe I will give some of the, I will merge the cell. Wrap and merge at the same time. I will put some header, BABA summary report, make some decorative.
Rohit, we did not get as far as we had planned on. We are at the end of our time.
Okay.
I am
Oh,
very interested to find out how you create the toggle buttons on the left-hand side that impact
okay.
the graphs,
Uh,
but maybe we can
just
do that another time. Or does it take very long?
actually it will take only 10 minutes. So if you have 10 minutes, I will show you.
Okay.
Or a 5 minutes with the two graph. Is it possible?
We
Will that
we
work?
can stay on and record. If anyone needs to drop off, the recording will be available. But I think it's really a valuable thing to be able to create the toggle buttons so people can say, I want to see order versus by men, by teens, by months. And it changes the display
Okay.
on this.
Okay, I'll be quick now. What I'll do now, I'll create another pivot table in a new existing state. Okay, so I just want now to have the gender, or you can say a channel wise. See, this is the amount, and I need to understand which state has spent the most amount. So I've just selected this. Now I'll go to the sort table. Sorry, not sort, filter table. I just want it top 10, but it's always a best practice to put it as a top 5 only, just for a time mean. I'm putting it
Okay.
top 5, and I'll go again to the view, sorry, insert recommended chart. It's showing me this. So probably I'll use the same one. Okay. The same scenario I need to repeat. Need to delete the grids as well. Need to check it in a number, because if we consider it by a number, then it becomes very much difficult for me as well to interpret those number. So change the formatting of those number. 0.00 into million, you can say.
So that's 0.00 comma open.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a format.
perfect. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm able to see that which state has spent which amount. Okay,
Okay.
so I'll just hide those button.
I'm guessing you would put, if you wanted thousands, you wouldn't put the M there, right? You put,
Yeah,
Right.
K.
It'd be a K.
I would put K. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, you put K or some other thing, or hundreds for H or something.
yeah, 100.
Mhm.
Means depending
Okay.
upon the formatting, I'll
Yep.
put this. I'll sort it by largest to smallest, and I'll just add the data label. See, the data label, it will give me the ambiguous value. So again, I have to change the formatting of it. 0,00 M. I will add it. Now it's pretty much clear that Maharashtra has the values of amount 2.99 millions. Now I'll put it in the summary report over here. So whenever we are preparing the dashboard, the background should be always plain. It's in Excel, I understand, but still in Power BI, in Tableau tool, there is much more features which are available. So what I'll do, I'll just untick the grid bar. Then I will change some of the color, page color, just to highlight. Oops. So it's in quick succession. I'll put any of the color depending upon the organization. Suppose if I put blue, then it will look blue only. So probably I'll put a contrast color or a bright one, this one. I'll arrange arrange it in a container. In Tableau, we have a field called containers, so that the size of the graphs are well matched. But in Excel, I need to do it manually. Now there is one important feature is called slicers. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll select on one pivot over here, and in pivot, I will go to insert slicers. So what slices do you want? Do you want it by a gender?
Let's do it by gender.
Okay, gender, and I'll put it by a channel as well. If I go to this slicers, men, women, it is applicable to one pivot only. Reason being, it is not connected to the other pivot. We have not put a connection to this slicer. So what I'll do, wherever we have the pivot, I will connect those pivot to these slicers. I'll go to the report connections. See, there are two pivots over here. I'll click on this. Again, I will go to this report connection, pivot.
That is too cool.
Now I'll put it in a summary report.
Yeah, that gives you a nice way to drill down.
Yeah.
Right.
See, suppose if I click on Azure, both my graph will change.
Right.
If I want to have a woman also, how many women on Azure channel have spent? See, you will come to know.
After you created the slicers, how did you flip them over to the summary report? I missed that.
Did you just copy them over?
You
Yeah,
just
I just
copied and pasted?
Yeah, I just copied and pasted. First, what I did,
Okay.
I went to one of the pivot. I included those slicers in that, and after importing the slicers, I have just connected to the other pivots. And once it is connected to the other pivots as well, I just copied those slicers into the summary report, so that once all the graphs and all the slicers or all the filters in place, toggling between one of the switches can make a changes to any other graphs, like the ones over here I have made. Are you able to see the other one, other dashboard?
Yes. That
This
is
one?
quite exciting. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, Rohit, you knocked it out of the park. Very good. Very, very good.
I think no question means it is easily understandable. And second thing, it means that it is not easily understandable. It is not at all, it is easily understandable. So what thing I should consider?
That's fun.
So does anyone have any questions?
I did have a question.
Go ahead, Andrea.
Thank you. So what I see there, what I'm worried about is that the orders versus sales has the full data set, but the state versus sales was the top 5. It had a filter on. So that filter is still considered, or
Yep.
does it change? So is it still the top 5
Yeah,
of
it is still
the initial one, or is it calculating depending on the other genders that you still
no,
keeps the same?
no, it will give you only the top 5 because we have restricted the view. There is suppose there are 25 to 27 states. Majoritarily, we are interested in only in top 5 or top 10. We are not interested in bottom ones or on the middle ones. We need to find out that which states are performing well and how they are performing.
Okay, so that graphic on the left is showing you
Yeah.
from the top 5
Yeah.
what type of slice, like in those different categories.
Yep.
Cool. Got it.
Yes.
I would encourage you, if you're going to put limitations on your data, that you make a subheading and explain that this is displaying only the top 5 or whatever your limitation is, so that it's clear to anyone looking at your data.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would definitely put that in your header or something like that.
Yeah, perfect. Any other questions? Y'all are authorized to ask all the questions.
These are just a basic thing because I have built this dashboard twice prior to this meeting. That's the reason I was able to make it in a quick way. But in our real-time scenarios, those dashboard takes weeks to be built, because first we need to be we need the approval that this is the UI which is going to be there. Over here, the filter should be on the left only, because some of the organization have their standard practice to put a filter on top itself only. Okay. Some of the organization put filter on this top, like a toggle button over here. This is how it looks.
Yeah, like a drop down.
Yeah, like a drop down. First, my approach while for building the dashboard is that first I understand the data. I understand the constraint in it. I understand the data quality issues also, that what issues I have faced while preparing the dashboard. And once I prepare the charts, I accumulate those charts in a single panel, that is this panel. And from this panel, I talk to the stakeholders that yes, I have built this dashboard. What changes do you want to add, or what changes in the UI you think that it would be for the betterment of the dashboard? And based upon their inputs and based upon their approval, I make it as a final touch, and it goes to the production, maybe in a Tableau or maybe in the ClickSense environment. Because once it is in the go live state, we cannot change the UI. It is not a best practice to change the dashboard when it is in the production state, or you can say when it is in the live state.
I think it's really important when you're planning a dashboard to figure out what are the questions that people need to know. What are the questions they want answered? It's real easy to put all kinds of cool graphics on a page, but if they're not useful, they won't use it. And you always want the most useful graphics at the very top. And if it can be customized like this, it makes it even better. Rohit, thank you so much for your time. And thank you everyone for joining us. Next week, we're going to have business architect Kathy with us, and I look forward to y'all joining us here. The recording of this will be on YouTube very shortly, and y'all can all link to it and go back and watch how Rohit did it and do it ourselves. Thank you all.
Thank you. Hope you all enjoyed it.
We did.
Absolutely. Everybody have a good night. See you next week.
Thank you
so much.
Bye. Thank you for joining us, guys. Tell other people about us. Okay.
Will do.
Thank you. Great job.